Good morning, Exorcists. It's time for your daily archive reminder. Centipede, Calamity IV. Type 2, notable in CAIN archives for the incident and manifested and fused with subject C623. Partly deceased and in temerity custody. See note. Subject lost court battle to her patent rights for potential broad-spectrum cancer-fighting drug after announcing her intentions to make it free. 10 Exorcist teams, including Virtues, dispatched, 11,000 approximate casualties. Timed execution 2 days, 6 hours, 35 minutes. Required previously, unprecedented deployment of broad-spectrum serif memory modification. Another example showing it doesn't matter who the host is. Anywho, good luck hunting. As above, so below. Hi, hello, and welcome back to our daily archive reminders, or our little archive chats that happen after them. These videos are for a bit of brainstorming on how I would fill out and kind of build each of these described archives in the actual mechanics of CAIN. The domains, what the traumas might be, afflictions, to act as a bit of fun brainstorming for potential admins, and act as a reminder for the Exorcists, because they've been taught these things by temerity, or at least the broad strokes. But yes, we are covering Calamity IV, which oh my god. Oh. Wow. Rough. Both in the case of the host and just honestly being a good person, but, well, it depends how you look at the centipede or the sin manifestation. Is it a growth and the sin feeding off of the host to produce itself, making the host worse? Or is the host honestly wanting these things and that, I mean, it's a possess. Alright. But yeah, Calamity IV, a disastrous, I say disastrous, on a similar level to Dullahan. Massive unprecedented deployment of broad-spectrum serif memory modification. I mean, that's in, what is that, Shibuya Crossing? Maybe not, but a main dense city center, large crowds already beneath it, this demonic, almost multi-armed angelic insect form with this halo above its head, which are its pincers fused together. But before getting too far, the traumas that make these centipedes and this centipede. What are you trying to escape? What do you hate the most about humanity, and what do you regret the most? Good old core traumas of a centipede, that hate. Trying to escape that, I guess the legal ramifications or the system that they're stuck in, the fact that their patent is sealed, they can't produce this potentially life-saving drug or treatment, which, I mean, just sucks. Like, it is a terrible thing that company's doing, and it's just a terrible thing that a centipede formed as a result later down the line. It's just bad. Just a bad time. And hating most about humanity, probably greed and corruption, that necessarily, like, looking out, not even necessarily looking out for oneself, it is that greed and corruption, that business, the holding onto that patent to try and make more of a profit off it. And regretting the most, probably signing a deal with them in the first place, this company. I mean, you needed it for the research, but now this potentially life-saving thing is never gonna see the light of day. But one thing that does see the light of day, and is a real headache for CAIN after the fact, is Calamity IV itself. Because heading on to that manifestation, so it is a possession, and assumedly with the things that happen in the description of the archive, a high cat, serif to be on their A game, then multiple Exorcist teams, 10! Not 10 Exorcists, 10 Exorcist teams, so like roughly whatever your average party is, 3 or 4, maybe more. Then, Virtues. Not Virtue, Virtues. Plural. I haven't done the video on them yet. But, oh man. Calamity IV is right. Calamity it's a proper name. The other two centipedes, just the incidents or the categorization, you know, C284 for example in the next one. But Calamity and then a number. This is like naming a hurricane. I feel like there was a Calamity 1, a Calamity 2, and a Calamity 3 potentially in the archive somewhere. But we just get an example of Calamity 4. And then 11,000 approximate casualties, not even an exact count, with a 2-day, 6-hour, and 35 minutes execution. I know I'm basically rereading the actual archive, but it's such a ridiculous event. A Type 2, so has a physical presence centipede. But as to the affliction, I think it's a bit of an irony, you know. Stopped this cure from being released to the rest of the world, might as well make it worse, with a reflavored limb necrosis to act as this growth. Mimicking cancer, but more this sin cyst. No treatment to be given. Also just a fitting reflection on, like, you know, evil doctor, instead of pharmacy, harmacy, that sort of thing. Not exactly an evil doctor, like, archetype for the actual manifestation. Well, that would be a fun one. But having the roots of the host being a doctor or scientist. But now we have the domains. First off being gently rolling down the slope of the abyss. This is our infection and horde one, for the number of casualties and the fact you needed so many exorcists on the battlefield to keep control of it. This isn't even counting the idea that there's some of the untouchables involved, or the members of Castle to try and contain this. This is just a mass deployment to try and contain and control and stop. Directly in the city center, the psionic, cancerous growth in the local human population, rapidly spreading, poisoning, breaking down everything around it. And everyone. Once you're infected, little can be done. At least for the mundane. But secondly, at the core, my rot unfurls for that want of vengeance, that burst, that retribution. And just like cancer, hard to remove and kill. Just a nastier second wave the moment you think it's gonna go down, it comes back up to take down as many people as possible. Again, 10 exorcist teams and multiple virtues. I wish we knew the cat of this. It's gotta be something like 5, right? If we're comparing it to Dullahan, at least around that. And for the last one, this is probably the weakest of the bunch that I had picked, but the Knights of Decay. Not necessarily theming to any of the particular traumas outside of maybe that angle of vengeance again, or wishing that she could strong arm, but also the Juggernauts, instead of looking necessarily bug-like, are just that mass of fused cancerous growths. Something looking similar to the bloater from The Last of Us, but instead of mushrooms, it's tumors. And lastly, the Palace. A hospital layout, this lab, this maniacal, terrible place, torturous mechanisms that are multiple syringes previously used for cutting out or treating some of these afflictions, now just further spreading them. Monitors and screens studying the pain that is being dealt. Old, decaying hospital hallways infested with tumorous growths breaking through the tiles and floors. Each of these acting as traps wanting to take you in or afflict you further. The mere presence in sight sparking anger and hate. With that, tell me what you think in the comments. How would you run this? What domains do you think it would have? What is the exact relation of a Type 2 centipede? But as one of our favorite Temerity archivists says, happy hunting. As above, so below.